Hi, I'm Jillian, and today I have a library haul for you. So let's get into them. I'd be lying if I said I had not started to read any of them, and I may have finished a couple of them, but I will tell you about those soon. The first book I have here is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This is a book I have very much been looking forward to reading. I put it on my 5-star predictions because for the most part, I have really enjoyed Kristen Hanna's writing. Or at least I'll say that when I enjoy her books, I really enjoy her books. I loved The Great Alone. I loved The Nightingale. Some of her other ones have been kind of flops for me. I think that might partly be because I have such high expectations for books that she writes. So this book is set in a time period that I absolutely love. You're following Elsa in 1921. She gets married to this man who I guess she doesn't really have much of a relationship with, if any. You then move into the 1930s with the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl. She's on the Great Plains with her husband, and she needs to make a decision of whether to stay and fight for her farm or to move west to California. And at the same time, her marriage is, it looks like, falling apart. Next, I picked up 100 Years of Lenny and Margot, and this is by Marianne Cronin. This looks like it's a book about friendship. It's a friendship that's a little bit different. It's between two people who are in a terminal ward of a hospital. One of them is an elderly woman and the other one is a teenager. The cover is just beautiful. I love the blue and the yellow together. It's really eye-catching. Next up is Now in November by Josephine Johnson, and I picked this one up specifically because Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading highly recommended it. And once again, it's from that time period that I adore. This man and his 3 daughters are pushed out of the city after the Depression, or during the Depression, not exactly sure, but they move into the country and they need to figure out how to make a living for themselves. In the spring, the rains fail to come. The cover of this one is a work of art by Jackson Pollock, which I just think is so pretty. And there's more on the inside. And this looks like it is going to be just a beautifully written book by everything that I've heard from Kelly and also the little description on the back. So exciting. Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes, which this cover looks kind of foreboding and like something that you might want to read in the fall to me. This book was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, and it says that it's about a middle-aged man who has just gone through a divorce and retirement. He's forced to examine his childhood and the past that he thought he understood and maybe get some new insight into that. And it says that he's visited from a number of people from his past, including one of his friends who's coming back and speaking to him from the grave. Next is A Day Like This by Kelly McNeil, and in this you are following a woman who has it all. She has a beautiful farmhouse, a loving husband, a little daughter. One day she's in an accident with her daughter, and when she wakes up, the doctor tells her that this life that she is remembering never existed. So she goes on to build a life for herself, but her present and her past, these memories keep on seeping into her mind and kind of blur together. And she begins to wonder if everyone is lying to her. I think I'm a couple chapters in at this point, and it definitely has my attention. Next is Shakala by Joanne Harris. I remember absolutely loving this movie when it came out, however many years ago that was. And I remember it feeling very warm and cozy. So this seemed like the perfect book to be reading at this time of year. And this is about a woman who is in France and she sets up a chocolate shop. The town begins to war among itself. I really can't remember all of the details of this, but people begin to wonder if she's a witch because along with the chocolates that she is giving out to the townspeople, she seems to have this uncanny ability to know what is ailing the different townspeople and also how to fix it. The House of Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I'm excited to read this for a couple reasons. One is that I feel like I need to read it. The second reason that I'm excited about this is that I'm hoping that I can take a little trip to the House of Seven Gables and maybe get some footage of the actual house to go with a little review of this book. I feel like that would be really fun. Not yet sure if I'm allowed to film in there or if it will at all be possible, but I feel like with the leaves and this time of year, I think it could be really fun. But at any rate, this is looking at a family in New England and their guilt. They are apparently a mentally and emotionally unstable family. Their ancestral home, which I assume is this house of 7 Gables, is the source of many strange happenings due to its controversial history rooted in witchcraft, deception, and death. Next, I picked up this one, which is definitely bigger than the others. It is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. It's a Victorian novel, and it is combining gothic horror with psychological realism. According to the back of the book, it's looking at issues of identity and insanity, and it all takes place in this English countryside. If you have read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.